All right, Coach. First off, just want to ask you guys kind of the most basic question of this. Why is right now the right time for you?
It's just one of those situations. I think it's not like I just woke up the other day and thought about it. It's something as you get nearer to it, to the ability to retire, like in the school system, it kind of becomes something that gets on your mind a little bit more and more. And I've thought about it. I mean, who doesn't when you get close? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I told my wife, I said, I got a plan, and here's what it is. And then, life changes. We've had what, 2 weddings and 4 grandbabies born, and so, like us just up and leaving and going to like South Florida wasn't an option. So, but I tell you, it's one of the things that I think people get. You do something for a really, really long time. It's I don't know, monotonous is maybe a word that I've thought about, but I think change can be good in a lot of ways, not just for me, even for our program, and so that's for 26 years, man, that's been, other than my wife and my 3 kids, that's been one of the most important things to me as far as my day-to-day things, and so I think it's just it's a really good time for both.
What are you gonna do now?
It's a good question. I'm not quite sure. Hopefully we'll see what happens. But I really don't have anything a definite plan. I don't have anything in mind. We'll just play it by ear and see how things go. But I'm ready to slow down a little bit probably.
People say it's better to get out a year early than a year too late. Do you still have the fire to coach, or the burn to coach? Is that still something that you?
Yeah, and I agree with that statement. I think I've seen that in a lot of different ways, and but I don't think you ever lose that. You don't ever lose the passion, and one of the things, when you get into the season as a coach, and I've heard this from other coaches before, when you get into a season and you're week to week, each week we talk about, how fast it goes, but then the season is such a long period of time. Just the excitement of the X's and O's and trying to prepare your team and trying to scheme and trying to, fundamentals and doing those things that your foundation of your program, and that's always enjoyable. I mean I wouldn't say that I haven't enjoyed every year, but the biggest thing is the kids, the kids that you work with every day, the coaches. Gosh, I so many of those guys that that we've coached with, and really there's not any after Coach Hicks last year and Coach Smith, this is not very many of them. Not everybody's been here very long now.
Talk about your meeting with the players. What was, I guess, your interaction with them in that meeting?
Yeah, that's and when you do this, if you're gonna leave, retire, resign, whatever, that's forthcoming, and that's probably the hardest. That is definitely the hardest part of it. Just knowing that you got to look some kids in the face and say, "Hey, I'm not going to do this anymore." Just making sure they understand that your door's always open. You love them, and you do anything for them. And I told them, I said, you're probably, some of you might be mad, you might be sad, some of you might be happy, but I think kids are really resilient. That's the one thing that we also learn with working with teenagers. They're really resilient. They're probably smarter than what we give them credit for a lot of times, and they understand things. And the last thing I remember telling them in there was, from the day the day I've been here, at least I've tried to get the message across to all of our players, all of our coaches, that this has never been about one person. Never been about one single player, one single coach. It's bigger than that, and that's the main message I think I had, as far as the kids go.
what was it like on Monday after? Like, I'm sure you received calls and texts, and you've seen some of the things posted on social media. I guess what was it like to, in those hours after to kind of see the reaction?
Yeah, it's just, man, overwhelming more than anything. I my wife, as soon as she got off work, we got out of town, and we didn't come into work on Tuesday, and that was just the way I wanted to spend it. It's like, we love our kids and our grandkids, and it's like, we're going somewhere, and that's and we hung out, and I'm one of the worst there is in social, as far as social media goes. I can retweet, I can like. I'm very poor at putting things on social media. So if I've not gotten back to somebody, my apologies. It may take me a month to be able to read through everything, my wife's read more of those things than I have to me, but that's not one of my fortes, and I've tried to text people back and things like that, but I'm not great with that kind of technology.
What I guess, I'm sure, as you say here right now, it probably feels like it went by fairly quickly. What are the things that stand out to you? What are the biggest things that stand out to you from the last 26 years here?
Oh gosh, from the things that I've, comments that I've received, or the text messages, phone calls, even some emails that I've gotten, it really, just how, maybe how kind people are, and how much grace they show you, and patience and forgiveness, and like, I think about, I had a real good conversation with a couple of players, and I'm like, there's times now I think back to some of those early years that maybe I didn't show enough empathy, maybe, or enough grace to kids, and they're like, Coach, I guarantee you that's exactly what you should have done, and that's what we needed, and that's what. So there is some some things that it makes you feel good about, knowing that kids did learn some things along the way, and maybe they don't realize that. That's the one thing I've tried to tell coaches in clinics, or our coaches, or other coaches, and other, it's like, kids have, there's something that they need through all this process, and all these, sports, and playing, and being a part of something, or something that they need, that maybe they, it's hard for them to get, especially anymore, I think. And you have to be confident that what you're giving them is something that's going to be important for them throughout the rest of their lifetime. And it's like doing hard things. Football's hard sometimes, and I've had probably more kids tell me, over the years, that, hey, Coach, man, I appreciate this, because if I hadn't gone through that, I don't know if I could have handled something that I went through later on in life. And so that's pretty meaningful.